the Cape Crusaders. The Cape Crusaders.
The real Cape Crusaders. It might be a week early, the game. They've got this period of rest and recovery, but I think it's safe to say we can already start putting their name on the trophy.
Yeah, I think so. Look, obviously it's going to be a final. It's going to be Munster going to come at them. Definitely, we know that. And with the week break, got more than enough time to acclimatize. But you just get it's like this Stormers team is finally living up to that bill of, what the supporters in Cape Town wanted to see all those years back. Because, if you saw Connacht were able to get a good start and then, put them under pressure, but they bounced back from that to, take control of the game. And then even in like there at the end, because the score margin was close, but they showed that ability to just hit you quickly and put you down, and game's gone. That I saw sort of like that Crusader-esque type of attitude or ruthlessness in a sense. That's why I was saying that there's the Cape Crusaders, because man, and they execute and they do it well.
Yeah, you're right, because there was a point where they could go 3 points ahead, and with that 3 points, not 3 points, they could go 7 points ahead with a penalty. And at that moment, they chose to go for a line. They messed it up. A few minutes later, they'll end up scoring that try that they were looking for. So even in the mistakes, they make it work. My thing is, I don't think Munster, the same thing that happened to the Bulls last season, playing 2 away games, I think it's just going to get the better of them. But I suppose that's to talk about next week. Let's talk about this game. Platform from the beginning: Marvin Ori out, Dion Fourie out, Sinatla obviously out.
Yeah.
Fourie, we saw how much they struggled without him, and then we saw how much they improved when he did come back.
Yeah. Yeah, true. And, you had a bit of with Fourie not being there, and Ori also being injured. It's like, it sort of put Connacht back in it, especially on paper. And the Connacht start did show that, because the Stormers couldn't get a handle of that breakdown and really disrupt their flow. And I think we saw that as well, I think, throughout the game, because they were able to score sometimes easy tries, although well taken, but it's just too much momentum, too much flow, nobody stopping things, or disrupting the flow of their ball. But again, Stormers at home with that crowd, and I think there's just so much that they play for. I think there's a lot of emotion involved as well, because Kitsov's lost, a few games in Cape Town. I think that's also fueled them, and they showed that. That's why I say that bounce back ability within tough situations, in big games, because that was a big game, and they've shown it. They did it last season in the semi-final. They're doing it again, so there's definitely something that they're doing right. And, yes, at some point close to now, the end of the season, they look like they were hitting a bit of a slump, but they managed to pick themselves up at the right time.
Yeah, I have to say, though, in those Connacht tries, the one came from the forwards when they finally got goal forward. And I look at it the other way, in that the only time they got goal forward was when they scored. Besides that, the Stormers' defensive patterns were just knocking them back, especially in the first half. The defensive patterns, the reads were just too good. They were just too much under pressure. When it's even to the point when the scrum half gets the ball from a line out and Malherbe's, blocking off the channel to 10. They were all over them. They were tackling them back. So, in the first half especially, the only other time where Connacht looked dangerous was the try when they went straight through from a set move in the centers there. Yeah. But that was just a brilliant set move. So I think those are the two areas.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 areas of concern where if you're looking next week, they're vulnerable if they're on that back foot, and they're vulnerable with those kind of set pieces.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we must give Connacht the raps that they deserve because they got to the semi-final, and it's not, a lot of teams know from last season and the season, it's not easy to even get there, and to also sort of obviously, put up a fight against the Stormers and try and stay within striking distance, but against Stormers structures just a bit too good. The physicality, I think, the energy of the Stormers when they started to pick up, and I think the main thing that I spotted with the Stormers is that looking for continuity when the kick goes out, they want to keep the ball in play, because they've got dangerous weapons, and it just seems like that whole team has got an all-around skill set of being able to move the ball, especially in contact situations, and keep that momentum. And I think that's also a part of their, as much as their defense, yes, was like you say, it was good in the first half. I think a big part of what got them that result is purely that attack and that attitude of, let's keep the ball in play and get the strike runners, running with the ball, and I think that's really the difference. Although I'll still be a little bit concerned defensively, I think even if you saw the coach's expression, for me, I think that's what he was thinking about, that look, we need to tighten up the defense, because if Connacht is a stronger team, they can easily, make it a much closer finish than what it was at the end of the day, which it almost looked like it was, but too much class.
Yeah, too much class. Also, Herschel Yankees, I've counted him out, but every time I count him out, he comes back. He's peaking in form at the right time.
Yeah. And his decision making, but I think it also helps when your pack is really giving you that go forward, that generating that quick ball, and for him to produce that service. Look, he's doing his job. He's doing it well right now, and good on him to hit back and deliver some good performances that show why he's been in the Springboks setup in the first place. Although I might argue that still the competition at 9 is very tight.
The competition is hot there.
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much. But overall, I mean, if you look at the Stormers players, you pick them out collectively as a team. They all brought it. They all sort of responded after going down, and they just put in a shift from what that's just. They were just doing
if we talk the players, if we talk about certain players, you've been a critic of Angelo Davids from time to time. Ben Jason Dixon came in. Although Ruiz, he's not getting the line breaks. There's people you can maybe say, oh, he's not having the same impact. But for me, he line breaks or not, he's still making meters.
Yeah. Meters, and even his meters post-contact, especially, he is getting them the momentum, getting them on the front foot and recycling that ball. All those little fundamentals, that's what helps the Stormers keep that. That's what allows guys like Angelo Davids, Manie Libbok to make those decisions and get guys to shine, And yes, Angelo Davids, he's done better. I think he's concentrating more now, because I think, when I was calling him out, is clearly lapses of concentration, which he sorted out in the hands of good, that cross kick try that he got, and even just that get out of my way run that he had, and assist with the pass there. Yeah, look, he brought it definitely, but I think again that just speaks to the whole attitude of that Stormers team, especially on the weekend, and that's what I say. They're just doing what the Stormers do, and they're back to what they do. That's what they do, and you can sort of see it's the makings of a potential dynasty, if they can pull it off and grab a second one in a row.
Yeah, even when you talk about the Stormers being the Stormers, a big part of that is they know where the space is. You look at the Daimani try, the ones with the cross kicks especially. If you look at the ones with the cross kicks, what they do is they go short side, they pull numbers, then they get it wide fast. And the same thing happened with even the try. There was a wide pass from Libbok and another big pass from Dan du Plessis to Nel. Nel draws 2 players.
Dan du Plessis to Nel.
Yeah.
Easy.
So it's that thing of knowing.
Try.
Yeah, it's that thing of knowing where that space is.
Yeah, especially that try for me, that stuck out for me, because even that execution. I mean, not to say too much about but previous Stormers teams, but it would be rare to sort of associate that with previous Stormers teams where they had Springboks in the midfield, where they'd be doing that. They use the whole width of the field on their attack, and at key moments they have got the right guys out wide in those channels, to take advantage of those opportunities. And that, for me, that play was a prime example. I mean, that long pass beat the man on the outside, 2 guys. It was just basics, and that was almost from just outside of the 22, and good strike play at the end of the day, seeing that space, as you said. And you want to see more of that from a South African context, to see the space and go for it and play, as opposed to, being more conservative and not chancing on or not backing yourself, to be able to execute that and actually go and still retain possession, if not score.
Yeah, credit as well to the praying man, John Dobson. Credit as well to him, especially when it comes to subs. I think he also got his subs right. He brought in guys at the right time, and he also left in guys. Daimani, obviously he played the whole game, good game, but those last 10 minutes he really came alive. You could have thought they could have subbed him as well. So it's not just the guys you're bringing on, it's the guys that are actually staying on. So the praying man, his prayers have been answered.
His prayers have been answered. I think probably for them going forward, that probably the focus is just going to be around, them dominating the possession more, and to avoid having that high tackle count that they had, because they had the higher tackle count. Okay, yes, they still got the result, but as much as defense is going to win you championships, you also want to have a bigger share of possession as well, and do good with that possession when you get those chances. So I think they quietly happy, and their prayers no, they'll be answered. They'll be answered. Looking at it, but yeah, I think from a personnel perspective, look, they just in the right zone. I mean, it's been a long time since we've had a South African team that's been able to hit those straps consistently, as opposed to be just, one hit wonders, have one good season and not be able to back it up. So yeah, as much as they've had their ups and downs this season, I think it's going to be really interesting, to see how even they continue to evolve from here. Because when you look at even with the structures, Currie Cup structures coming through, I think they have a very big pool of, and a good culture, and a very big pool of quality players and very attack-minded players.
Yeah, and we've gone this whole segment, we haven't even mentioned Manie Libbok, who it just seems every week in, week out, he's just he's that guy. He's that guy.
Look, he is the guy, and I don't think there's a debate anymore around it. I don't think they even needs to even be, is he going? Is he not going? I mean, so far, if I'm not mistaken, he's his highest point scorer in this tournament last season and this season. So far, he's the all-time leading point scorer of this competition. So he's the guy. He's the guy. He can do the job, get the job done in big games. So I think we'll even leave it for later when we talk a bit of Springboks. But I was thinking about it is, at the end of the day, does he get the job done? Yes, he's been getting the job done, ticking the boxes. So, he's the guy.
Yeah, I think we can get into that, especially with the Boks. Pollard also injured this week. That makes two conversations. Number one, who steps up as captain with Pollard out injured, Sia out injured, and Kolisi out, and Etzebeth, sorry, out injured. So those are three guys that would have been at the top of the list. Who goes next? There's been talk about Spicy Plum. The problem with Spicy Plum is he only plays a half.
Yeah, at Bok level.
And he might not even start. He might even come on second half. So that's the only issue. The other person suggested is Then we go to the culture of the Sharks, where it's not exactly inspiring. It's not exactly inspiring.
No, but Box is different. I think we all know, we've seen when they're in the box, it's a different kind of setup, So yeah, when putting those factors, I think naturally it's easier to say he should be the captain. Yeah, I can't see anybody else really. Yes, the Spicy Plums and the guys, they'll be, the vice captains and things like that. But I think because if he's fit, he's your starting 13, and he most likely will play the whole game. So I think, yeah, that's the one. Because talking about Box and talking about getting the job done, at the end of the day, nobody's going to remember, okay, yes, we do remember Chesley Kobe's try, but all I'm saying is that at the end of the day, you just got to get the result. I think especially this World Cup is going to be about guys just going in there and doing a job. It's who can go in there and do the job, because you've got influential guys that potentially are going to be out. So, there's going to be guys that are, do the job. We're not saying you must be him or be, just do the job. And that's what I'm saying. I think can get the job done as captain, in my opinion, and with Pollard out, if you're talking Pollard, Manie is the guy. He played the end of year tour, he came out good, let's continue to give him the keys, to the car. There's going to be...
Yes, this is also a conversation that needs to be had, in that oftentimes a guy like Pollard gets the benefit of the doubt. His victories are sung louder. His defeats are whispered quietly. And a player like Manie Libbok, he doesn't get that same... Libbok doesn't get that same... He is getting praised. I will admit, Manie Libbok is he's the man in the headlines. He does get praised. But we have to come to terms with the fact that certain players get away with more, and certain players get praised more than other players.
Of course. Yeah, such as, we all know this world, it's not always fair, and that's why it's even sweeter when a guy like Manie Libbok does what he does. He does what he did this past weekend. I mean, even that his second try, that was just all him. Yes, okay, the supporting cast, but again, another example of how they like to keep the ball in play, but he chased his own kick hard, he got his guys into onside position, all of those factors, like he is the guy, and it makes it even better when he's doing this because of that fact that, it's not on the same volume. He doesn't get the same volume,
Yeah.
So
I think that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
He doesn't get the same volume. It's not surround sound.
Yeah.
But other news. Shark signings. Apollos, I think he could be a good signing for you guys.
Yeah.
Not sure where the especially to put pressure on Fenter, Ben Tabs, the rest of that mix. I think a guy coming, getting his second shot at a big union, he's gonna be hungry for that.
It's about to go down. I think that's a good signing for sure. I think he's shown a lot already just in the Currie Cup from what he can do. I mean, since schoolboy days, and it just seems like Pumas has helped him, to, like with many players. I mean, many guys that are now, at a different level, they've come through that Pumas system. So
De Klerk left the Bulls and now he's going back to the Bulls. So it's oftentimes it's that thing, it's that place to kickstart your career.
Yeah, so yeah, I think it's a good signing, and and it kind of, I think that will bring a different dynamic to the Sharks attack as well with him there at center, because there's also, they can different combos, powers combos there with him and Janssen van Rensburg if they want. They're gonna have options now. But now again, it's just gonna be about how they're gonna put the squad together. It's nice, you can buy all the shiny things, but what are you building with that thing? You're gonna build an ugly thing, or an ugly shiny thing, or a beautiful shiny thing. That's a question we still have to answer next season as the Sharks.
Yeah, Lions are making calls. They called George Cornier, they called Wegner, both declined calls. So I think things need to be sorted out there. Good to see. I like this
George
season.
Cornier looks a good one there in the Curry Cup, yeah.
Yeah, it does. I like this season of player movement. It's very exciting, and especially also coming up to Box. It's the excitement is building. It's a good time in SA Rugby. Any closing remarks?
Well, I must just say, I love the Curry Cup. How now it's an upset for the Sharks to beat the Pumas. So I think again, just it speaks to the how far the Pumas have come, and I love seeing Nohamba at 10.
I was about to say we've got the best 10 in South Africa. That was my closing remark. The best 10 in South Africa, Sanele Nohamba. A double threat, a triple threat. He kicks. He plays scrum off. He plays 10. He does anything.
He's dark horse.
Dark horse. We'll see. That's it from us. Thanks for watching.